Hi guys, I am Cat, and this is Grumpy Cat, and this is Grumpy Cap. Look, they have the same expression. And this is Drunk Headcanons about Captain America, hence the Grumpy Cap. Grumpy Cap does not approve of my headcanons, and most of my friends also do not. And if you disapprove of angsty headcanons and you disapprove of drunkenness, you boy, did you click the wrong video. What are we drinking? We are drinking blue margaritas. I've had 2 of these already, and it's 2 shots of tequila to 6 shots of margarita mix, and it's yummy. Captain America headcanons. So first what I want to talk about is the uniform, because I have thoughts about the uniform, and nobody likes the USO uniform. So if you didn't know, why did you click this link? But if you didn't know, Captain America starts off with like this weird 1940s USO kind of costume with like fairy pirate boots and shit. And it's adorable. Look at his little red boots. Oh, he's so cute. Anyway, he starts off with this costume, and he's doing a USO show, and like all the crowds see him and love him and fall in love with him, and then he wears the USO uniform during the movies, and more people fall in love with him during the movies, and even more people fall in love with him when he does even more USO shows, except of course the GIs, but screw them. The point that I'm trying to make is that the USO uniform is the one the public will remember when he is buried in the ice, because like no one really sees his other uniform except in the black and white little oh, what are they called? The things with the newsreels. The only time they see him in his like really real uniform is in the newsreel. So that uniform isn't what people fall in love with. People fall in love with the corny, hokey USO uniform, and that becomes important in a little bit. I swear I have a point. So next up, he goes to save Bucky, and he decides he can't save Bucky in his pajamas because of reasons. I don't know. He wants to look good for his boy. I haven't figured out why. Anyway, he's got like normal pants on, I guess because people made fun of his pirate boots, but screw them. I like his pirate boots, but he like changed pants, and he kept the top on for reasons, to go draw angsty pictures of himself as a dancing monkey. And Peggy comes and like they talk, and then he finds out that Bucky is in danger, and oh no, Bucky is in danger, and we have to go right now and save Bucky. So we go and we save Bucky, and we're in this like weird quasi uniform thing, and the best reaction of all is like, who the hell are you supposed to be? I'm Captain America. And it's, you know, all the British people are like, I'm sorry, you're who? And I feel so bad for them right now, but oh well. So he goes and he rescues Bucky, and Bucky is like, Steve! And he's like, Bucky! And they go out and they talk to Red Skull, and they go, you know, Johnny comes marching home into the camp, and, you know, Tommy Lee Jones frowny faces at them. But we don't care because, yay, we're all together, except for Bucky, who is sad that he is not Tiny Steve anymore, and everybody is sad. Anyway, that's the second uniform that he's kind of in, and it, like, directly leads into the third uniform, because he has decided, you know, fuck you, angsty guy who mooned me, I like my colorful uniform, and he creates, like, the wartime Captain America uniform, and I need a drink. Okay, so then we have the third uniform, and the third uniform is the, like, wartime working, fighting Hydra. And it's really important because this is the first uniform that Steve actually designs, and he's an artist, so this, like, uniform is his aesthetic, kind of. This is what Steve thinks the soldier should look like. albeit glamorized Captain America, gung-ho, Star-Spangled Man version. But this is what Steve thinks they should look like, and it's the one that he owns the most. He designed it, he picked his team, he fights Hydra in it, he does it on his own terms. And then, it's also the uniform he wears when Bucky dies and is all sad face. And I noticed that when Bucky dies and he goes to get drunk, he actually takes off the uniform. He's just another soldier when he is mourning Bucky. But then Peggy comes, and Peggy is awesome, and Peggy kicks his ass, and he decides, okay, no, I can't be angsty about Bucky anymore. I have to go, save the world and kick Red Skull's ass. I missed something. I forgot what I missed. Nope, I don't remember what it was. Anyway, he, fast forward to Avengers, and Avengers come and they saw him out, and they're like, oh my god, he's alive! How is he alive? And then he gets into a Quinjet with Phil Coulson, and other shit happens, but he gets into a Quinjet with Phil Coulson, and Phil Coulson is like, hi, I love you so much, oh my god, you're my fave, and by the way, I helped design your costume. And that brings us back to the USO costume, because the first Avengers movie costume is much more like the USO costume than it is the World War II costume. And I think this is deliberate because it was designed by Phil Coulson. And again, the costume that he wore in the USO in the movies is the one that people remember. It's the one that at the end of... That was what I forgot. At the end of First Avenger, they show you all these kids playing Captain America and making their own shields out of garbage can lids and things like that. But the uniform they're thinking of is the USO uniform. And so years later, when Phil Coulson goes to make him a uniform, they make him a uniform that looks like his USO costume, not like his World War II costume. And he kind of accepts it because he's trying to find his new place in the world, yada yada yada, character growth. So then we have... Oh no, I threw Steve. Come back, Steve. I threw Grumpy Cap across the room. I'm sorry, Grumpy Cap. Stay with me, Steve. Anyway, so then we have... So that's Avengers, and they, save the universe and shit. But, the important thing is that Steve has found his place in the world with Tony. There was a point to that. Anyway, he gets a uniform. So then he goes to... we go to Captain America 2 Winter Soldier, and he's wearing his ultra cool SHIELD uniform, trying to fit into SHIELD's dynamic, and he's still got a bit of his own style to it. He's not wearing a standard SHIELD tack uniform the way Brock is or anything like that. He's got his own little thing going on, but he looks really good in it, but it's not his. Again, this is something that somebody designed for him, and he's just kind of accepting it, and he's coasting along, but he doesn't really feel like he fits in, and he never is really comfortable in that uniform. Every scene he's in where he's in that uniform, something is happening that Steve is uncomfortable with. Whether he is dealing with the Lemurian star, is that what it's called? The stupid ship that the stupid guy is on at the beginning of the movie, where they have to go and he jumps off, because that becomes a point for me anyway. He jumps off the ship and he's not comfortable because he wants to know why the hell he's doing, Fury's dirty work, and then later on he's in the uniform and he is talking to Pierce about Fury being shot, and he's not comfortable telling him anything about Fury, and then he's in the elevator and he's sure as hell not comfortable being, attacked in an elevator, and then he jumps out and he's like, fuck it, this uniform is jinx, I shall never wear it again. And he changes into gym clothes before getting the stupid USB port. And I know there is a deleted scene to explain why he's in gym clothes, but because it was a deleted scene and it is not canon, it cracks me up that it is implied canon that Steve would rather change uniforms before getting the MacGuffin that is supposed to be so important. That I find that hilarious. Anyway, so that's the S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform. And then he finds out Bucky is alive! Even though Bucky doesn't remember him, he goes and he has to be angsty in a high place, because that is what Steve Rogers does. He goes and he becomes angsty. And Sam comes up and is like, you know what? You have to do what you feel is right. I'm with you. Yay, bromance. And it's like when he finds a new guy to be romantic with, he remembers, oh yeah, I have this uniform that I really liked, and he goes and he steals it back. And then he wears his old uniform to confront Bucky, and, you know, he's like, hey, Bucky, and you know, it's like, Bucky, Steve! And then they don't hug, but they fall into a water, and he drags him out of the water, which, you know, for an amnesiac assassin is the same thing as a hug. Come on. Then we go to Avengers Age of Ultron, and like they're fighting Hydra as a group, and he has been Starkified, and I really think that he likes that uniform, because like he's very snarky in it, and Steve is usually only very snarky if he's comfortable. And so, yeah, I like the Age of Ultron uniform. He's got some Stark tech on it, but that's probably very familiar to him because the first uniform that he loved was Stark tech. And I noticed that Tony is very good at acknowledging the design and incorporating the design. Tony doesn't give him a suit; he gives him a cap suit. And he doesn't really mess with it that much. He, you know, puts magnets on the shield and whatnot. But for the most part, Avengers Age of Ultron uniform is like, that's the uniform of present day Steve fighting the good fight. And then we go to Captain America Civil War. And I don't know, I haven't, at this point, the drunk headcanons needs to come to a close because I haven't really analyzed the differences between Ultron and Civil War uniforms. But it's the uniform that he's wearing when he like decides not to be Captain America, to just be Steve Rogers, that one good man that Dr. Erskine was like, you have to stay a good man. And I think that's it for my uniform headcanon.